So we still continue with time management. I don't want to ask too more questions about the practical things you expected us to do last week. I was told, I wasn't around, but I told where justice was done to it. Those 4 categories of things. Everything you want to do, every day, every week, every month, every year, you can actually divide them into any of those 4 categories. Is it very important and urgent? Is it important but not urgent? Is it urgent but not important? Or is it not urgent, not important? And when you have your list of things, start with the ones that are very important and very urgent. If there are 1,000 of them, keep doing them one after the other until you finish them. If you end up not doing the things that are not important and not urgent, you will still feel good. That at least you didn't leave the important things and the urgent things undone. Amen. Alright, so today we just quickly want to look at this. Getting your work done. And we're looking at Jesus' model. Getting your work done. And we're looking at Jesus' model. We're going to read 2 scriptures. Oh, I hope you can see this. Luke chapter 13, from verse 31 to 33. Luke chapter 13, we'll read from verse 31 to 33. Luke 13, 31 to 33. We're considering getting your work done, and we're using Jesus' model. From verse 31. On that very day, some Pharisees came, saying, "Get out and depart from here." They were telling Jesus, "For Herod wants to kill you." Get out and depart from here. For who wants to kill you? Herod. Thank you for saying that. That means you're following. Verse 32. Can we read together from your own Bible? 1 to go. And he said to them, "Go tell that fox, behold, I cast out demons and perform cures today and tomorrow, and the 3rd day I shall be perfected." Verse 33. Nevertheless, I must journey today, tomorrow, and the day following, for it cannot be that a prophet should perish outside of Jerusalem. Hallelujah. You know, the first thing that struck me when I was reading this scripture is when Jesus Christ said, "Go tell that fox." He was referring to Herod as a fox. The Pharisees, they said, Herod is going to kill you. Get out of here. But Jesus had some unfinished business in that place. And he would not be disturbed. He would not be deterred. He would remain focused. He would not be distracted. So Jesus said, "Go and tell that fox, I cast out demons and perform cures when? Today and tomorrow. And on the 3rd day, I finish my course." That is the model of Jesus. Jesus has an itinerary and you can't stop it. Jesus has a way he does these things. You can't stop it. On the first day, he's doing miracles. He has written it down before you ever came. On the 2nd day, he's doing miracles. On the 3rd day, he's putting finishing touches to it. So no Herod can come halfway and say, "Get out of here." Hallelujah. Does it make sense to us? So if you are following Jesus' model of getting things done, it means ever before challenges, ever before anything comes our way, we have already made up our mind on how things to be done. Day 1, performing miracles. Day 2, teaching. Day 3, rounding up. No stupid Herod can come halfway when Jesus already has his itinerary and decides to do otherwise. Does it make sense to us? So we're going to be looking at getting things done, Jesus' model. I must go on my way today, and tomorrow, and the day following. I must read for my exams. No calls can disturb me. I must read for my test. No friend can just come and say, follow me to Pick and Pay, and you two will carry your bag, let's go to Pick and Pay. No, because I've already planned that between 8 and 9, I'm reading. Between 9 and 10, I'm cooking. Between 10 and 11, I'm visiting. No one will come at 7 a.m. and say, let's go visit. My visiting time is what? 10 to 11. Does it make sense to us now? So Jesus had his plans. Herod cannot stop him. So the first thing we want to look at is eliminate distractions. What did I call it? Eliminate distractions. There would always be distractions. Can you see how many distractions we have these days? Social media, Facebook, Twitter, the remote of your TV, Google Voice. I don't even know which one is Google Voice again. How many of you have Google Voice on your phone? Wow. I need to meet some of you. After church. So I can know how to use Google Voice. Safari. Okay, your phone, everybody has that one. Check your mail. Some of you are even checking your mail in church. But Jesus will tell that fox, you know what? I'm in church, I cannot check my mail now. That's what is expected of us. And lastly, music. Young people these days, we all put this earpiece in our ears in the morning, going to school, even sometimes in class. Am I right? Some people are listening to some wonderful music. Wonderful. But Jesus will tell that fox of music, you can't disturb me now. I've had my plans. First day, I'm doing miracles. Second day, I'm teaching. Third day, I'm perfecting the teaching. You can't disturb me. Can we follow Jesus' model for doing things in life? And we will make it. So avoid distraction. That's number one. Number two, be focused on the task at hand. Don't worry, we'll put this on the media people will help us. You can put it on our Facebook page. We'll put it on WhatsApp group. For those of you that are on our WhatsApp group, I mean, you can get out of WhatsApp group. And for those who are not yet on WhatsApp group, you can speak to who is in charge. Who are the administrators? We used to have a lot of administrators. CPW, are you one of the administrators? Look at that sister raising her hand. Can you stand and let them see you? That beautiful sister in the middle. Yeah, that's Sister CPW. Alright, so you can speak to her. She will put your name and your number so that you can be on WhatsApp as well. Okay, so we'll put it on the WhatsApp group so you can have it. You may not really write much because of our time. So there's something called flow. When you say get into the flow, what does it mean? That you are in it. You are not outside it. If you are reading, preparing for exam, and you are not in the flow, you're not going to flow. By the time you pray, if you are not in the flow, you will still be hearing some voices of distraction. But when you get into the flow, you don't even know that someone is passing beside you because you have that focus. You are so much concentrated. You are focused on the task at hand. You understand with me, if you have read for exam before, that when you first start reading, you can still get distracted. But a time comes when you are in the middle of that, reading, and you are getting it, and you are understanding what you are reading, and you are getting all the chemical formula. At that time, you don't want any distraction. If someone comes around then and say hi, you're like, oh, you disturb the flow. That is the way to get things done. Tell your neighbor, get in the flow. Get in the flow. Whether you are in church, or you are reading for exams, or you are praying, or you are studying the Bible, you must get in the flow. It doesn't mean you don't like your friends, but at that time you need a level of concentration. You know why? If you are not concentrated, you will use 10 hours for what you can use 30 minutes for. Am I right? You know that kind of reading, eh? You go all night. And I'm like, wow, she actually read all through the what have I been doing? And if you ask her, what did you read? She can't tell you. Because when she looks just half of the page, her mind wanders to one of those distractions we read about before, those errors. Then she goes back and she's still reading the same page. How many of you has that happened to before? My hand is up. You are reading the same page. And everybody's like, wow, she has spent 5 hours. You have not left page 1. You are still on page 1. Why? Because you have not been able to get focused. How many of you know 3D? Raise up your hand. 3D glasses. How many of you have gone to World 3D? Okay. So I went to World 3D recently, and I had one 3D glasses in my bag. I said, I don't want to buy another one. So I wanted to use that 3D. As soon as I got it and I put that 3D on, it didn't work. You know why? It was IMAX. How many of you know IMAX? So there's what we call 3D past 3D. There's a level of focus that you need to watch IMAX. When you put that pair of glasses on for IMAX, you immediately come into the film itself. You are with them, you are acting with them. You can't even see the person beside you, you can't hear anybody. It's like you are right in that film. You forget about the fact that you are in a big hall. That is getting in the flow. Until you get in the flow in anything you want to do, you will be spending too much time that is not necessary on things. If you don't get into the flow of faith, if we're in church on Wednesday when we're doing Bible study, if you don't get into the flow of faith, your prayers will be so long. You want to say, Lord, I want this thing to be done. You pray for 1 hour and that thing wouldn't get done. You go on the mountaintop, it won't get done. But if you are in the flow of faith, you enter right there and say, Lord, thank you because you always hear me. I want this, and this. Amen. And you come out, done. Get in the flow. So it actually makes you feel energized and motivated and increases your enjoyment of the activity. You are reading, you enjoy what you are reading. You come out of, how many of you have come out of reading before you feel so fulfilled, like, bring it on. Whatever exam, whatever text, I'm ready for it now. Those kind of time that you read and you feel so good that you want to go and play afterwards. Yes, because you are in the flow. You refuse to be distracted. It's good to use a calendar. Recently I've been doing this, and I want to really appreciate Pastor for telling us to go through things like this so that he can help us. My itinerary can be very difficult to fix sometimes because I work in plus or minus 100 kilometers in Gauteng. So there are some places I work that are 40 kilometers, some 45, some 30, some just 900 meters from my house, some 15 kilometers, some 20 kilometers. So if I sum them all up, it's well over 100 kilometers that I can travel at any point in time in a month. Or every day, or any day, at any given day. So I decided to do a calendar, not exactly like this, but it's like a monthly thing that highlights everything I'm going to do. So at a glance, it's like a graph. I actually wanted to put it up. But like if I put it up, everybody will know where I'm going to be on Wednesday. Hallelujah. That's just a joke. So that calendar, just looking at it, my children will go to the back of the door and they can tell, oh, we know where that will be at this particular time on this particular day. But there were some days or some times that I left free because I'm not a robot. Okay, I can't be here 7 o'clock and then move to the other one 8 o'clock, and it can't happen that way. So those free times are the places where I plug some other things I do. Amen. So if you try it, it works. It doesn't mean that you become stereotyped, but like you will be able to say, okay, I must get this done at this time. Just like Jesus, he wouldn't allow Herod's harassment. He already had his timetable. He already had his calendar. So no friend will just come at any time and say, let's go and do this. If it doesn't fall at the time when you have the free time to go, be with friends, to go, get some things done, you won't go to do those things. If it falls at those times that are like marked with red, some marked with yellow, some marked with green, depending on how important those things are to me, If you call Madu so that I'm marked with red, sorry, it's a no. Alright, so you need a calendar, you need something to really help you to understand what you're doing. Okay? Use a checklist. So a checklist is a way of telling yourself, okay, I did this one, I did this one, I did this one. I use checklist, but I found out that even with the checklist, I cannot boast of completing all the tasks I put there. But, like we were told last week, the very important and urgent things need to be done first. So that gives you fulfillment. The 24 hours of the day will not be enough. We must just learn how to manage it. Amen. Does it make sense to us? So you must have a checklist and say, what are the things I said I was going to do? Oh, I actually said I was going to visit a friend today. Oh, wow. I didn't get time to do that. I actually said I'm going to pray for 1 hour today. I didn't get time to do that. Which of these should you feel bad about? You wanted to pray for 1 hour, you couldn't get time to pray. Or you wanted to visit a friend, you couldn't get time to do it. Maybe both of them, depending. But I think praying will be more important to you as a Christian because it adds more to you as a person. Hallelujah. Visiting a friend is also very good. If you are adding value to somebody else, but we need to prioritize. Get organized. So if I come to your room, what do I see? Cups here, plates here, books on the floor, pillow on the floor, bed sheets spread everywhere. That kind of a person is not organized. And I don't know if you are like me. Before I can read in a place, everything must be organized. Because if it's organized, that means my brain will be organized. Some people are saying, yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Get organized. It's very important. Part of organization is when you want to read, you tell yourself, how many hours do I want to read for? 2 hours only. You don't need to read for 10 hours. Come on, you don't need to read for 10 hours. They don't score people for how many hours they spend reading. You only score you for what you understand from your reading. So you tell yourself, I'm reading for 2 hours. After those 2 hours, I'm going to play. In fact, if you are reading at a time that you know you are likely to fall asleep, tell yourself, I'll read for 1 hour. If I'm falling asleep, I'll play a game. How many of you do that? I'm not the only one. There are some kind of maybe mind games or like brain games that you can play. Maybe you have some of them on your phone, and you have to look at that place. It says, "Be organized." Okay, we'll get to that. It's not here. It's on the next one. So you could do that so that you can. It helps your adrenaline to come up. Then you don't feel sleepy again. Then you can continue reading. But you need to be organized. So organize your time and say, "I've got 2 hours to read. How many chapters do I want to cover in those 2 hours? How can I cover those chapters in the 2 hours?" So you use the first 10 minutes to organize yourself. The remaining 2 hours minus 10 minutes, you invest it into reading. And you can also go back to checklist and ask yourself, did I read this one? Will I be able to answer these questions? Okay, can I solve some past questions based on the places I've read? Some of you use past questions. When you get past questions, you can also rearrange those past questions and say, the one that have to do with electrochemistry, I put them on one side. The one that have to do with analytic chemistry on one side. The one that have to do with thermodynamics, for all the years, I put them on one side. So when you read thermodynamics, you go through all the questions from year 2000 till date on thermodynamics. Just be organized, whichever way that works for you. Alright, in the things of God too, be organized. Some people organize this place to look like this, and we are coming to see it and enjoy the presence of God. Let's clap for them. So when we're talking about quality worship starts from the place of organizing. The way you are ushered into church, the way you are seated. If the organizer does that, people sit at the end, at the extremes, and other people are coming in and they are stepping over you to get into the middle, that is not a good organization.